Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. So today we are talking money, 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 and I will tell you that there are some scams, unfortunately, that people have gotten themselves mixed up in, or some who are contemplating. Some of you all, you see a lot of the advertisements in your social media, such as Instagram and other places. One particular one that comes up quite a bit, especially during the morning time, is anything related to cash benefits, healthcare, people saying things like you can get your medical, your dental, your grocery expenses paid, all of that good stuff. Let's just explain some things. First of all, I do check out various community forums to see if people have already been scammed, okay? That's always the first place to go, is any community forum where you look up the word scam, okay, ripoff, things of that sort. You can also do it through the search engines, and you can also check through your various chats, okay, such as your chat GPTs and Poe and Claude and Bing Chat and Google Bard and all of them. So I took a look over at Reddit and saw where someone had asked a question about the American Cash Benefits Healthcare Alliance. Is this a scam? And they come under all sorts of names. What the auto moderator, now mind you, this is a bot, what it said when the individual had asked about these ads offering the $3,000 allowance, and some of them it's $1,500, you know, the numbers, the names. At the end of the day, is this legit? The auto moderator had one of the best answers, so I'm just going to read it verbatim. And it said that this is what you call an advance fee scam. The advance fee scam arises from many different situations: investment opportunities, money transfers, job scams, online purchases of any type in any legality. Once again, advance fee scams. Okay. And pretty much what these are is a scammer is going to ask you to pay them up front for any item they have listed, whether it's a drug scam, whether the scam is a shipping site, a fake government agent, something like that, right? The scammers will simply take your first payment, then they disappear. But sometimes they'll take your initial payment and then make excuses that lead you to making additional payments. If you are involved in an advance fee scam, you should attempt to dispute a charge, charge back any payment sent to the scammer. You should ignore the scammer, and you should ignore them if they attempt to contact you again. Okay. So there's also the low income relief flex cards for seniors, Medicare flex cards, those sorts of advertisements, people talking about that sort of thing. Now, with that, basically the insurance plans, they have something along the lines of what they call a Medigap, a Medicare Part D, for example, through a company like a UHC, BCBS, etc. And the card itself is similar to an HSA or FSA. So any of you all who are familiar with Medicare, you know how this goes. If you don't, then you ought to contact Medicare, okay? So basically, the commenter on Reddit said that if it's not something offered through the company, like the Medigap coverage form, then it's likely a scam. Okay. Sometimes there's these prepaid debit cards that go out. All right. There are some companies that offer prepaid debit cards for seniors, but the deal with that is the money has to be put on the account first and can only use the card up to the limit of what was deposited at the beginning of the year. Most of these cards are similar to an HSA, and you're contributing after tax money, versus an FSA offered through your employer, which the contributions are pre-taxed. It basically only matters for tax purposes, but you can only do it once a year. Any money left on the card expires at the end of the day, December 31st of that year it was issued. And you're not refunded that money if you don't use it. It's a use it or lose it proposition. If you have lots of medical expenses yearly, an FSA can definitely be worth it. HSA somewhat less so, but still a good idea if you know you're going to use it all by the end of the year. But only through your insurance company or through the approved vendor, like UHC uses Optum. Some BCBS uses Anthem. Okay, so this is good information for those individuals who you see these sorts of advertisements and you're saying, is this a scam? Okay. There are other things that are out there floating around, and I just want to make sure that we cover all of the foolishness that's out here. Okay. We're not going to be able to cover everything, but we're talking about the main things, okay, that keep coming up in these advertisements. Now, one of the things that I can tell you just in general, and I don't have to name a bunch of names, you all will figure some things out. There are those advertisements that go out where there are people who will say things like, whatever the pain point is, aren't you tired of doing things this way or that way? Aren't you looking to save some money? Or are you trying to find a new way of using this or using that? This is a great tool. Let me show you how I made $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. Okay. The consistent pattern with these advertisements is a class, okay? I have sat on many classes. I took the time out, spent a year researching, sitting in on classes, and even taking the time out to pay the $1 fee, the $5 fee, whatever, right? On the low end. You sit for an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever this seminar, conference, whatever. And at some point, about midway through or toward the end, they're going to ask you for money. And it's not a little bit of money. It's thousands of dollars. And basically what they want you to do is to buy into whatever the tool is that they're offering, more classes. So you got the freebie, but here's more classes for you to sit in. And of course, they say that they cannot guarantee results. Okay? This will make anybody angry because you're forking over the $3,000 to $5,000 to $9,000, which in my case, I didn't. Thank God. I prayed about it. But those who were so excited by the energy in the room, and can I get a like, or can I get a 1 if you hear me, or can I get whatever the power word is for the day. They're very quick to sign up. All right, we already got 5 people who signed up. Okay, let's get 10. Let's get 10. We got 10 people who signed up. All right. Now this deal isn't going to last for long, so we need for you to get in. I'm telling you, within the next 15 minutes or 20 minutes, it's going to be regular price. Regular price, we typically charge $3,000. The first 20 people, you're going to get this for $800. Are you in? Are you in? Are you excited about this? I know. Put a 1 in there. Put a 1 in there if you're excited. You know, I've sat on these calls. Okay. I want people to win. I want to win, but I don't want to spend a whole lot of money trying to win. And this is where they'll say, well, then, if you're not willing to invest a whole lot of money up front, then you're not going to reap the rewards. Not everything that people say, you're going to reap something because I spent a lot of money on it. Some individuals started requesting their money back. I followed them through various community forums because I wanted to see, well, did you make some money? Are you doing really well? Sounds like you started off with just a $200 investment and now you're up to $2,500 in expenses. You got all sorts of ads. Yeah, but, and then the dollars aren't matching up. You're telling me that you're making $5,000. Are you really making $5,000? You're not making $5,000 because 2,500 of it went toward the expenses. You see? So, yeah, you broke even. But that's $2,500 that you could have been putting in a savings account. That's $2,500 that you could have been going back to school. That's $2,500 that you could have got your certifications through some training for something that you always wanted to do so that you can get out of the rat race dealing with whatever this is that you can't stand or don't like. That's $2,500 that you could have put towards a fabulous website. Still don't have your website yet. And nowadays, I mean, websites are so cheap. But if you want all the bells and whistles, though, you are going to come out of pocket on a website. Now, that's another example. Okay, so then I saw things about these wealth kits, right? A free wealth kit that's going to offer you your time back, right? You have a choice now. You can be able to have all the wealth that you always wanted. Doesn't that sound too good to be true? Because it is. I love how one individual said, well, can I just get this free wealth kit without investing any money? And then, of course, you know, people got their share of laughs and comments. You see, soon as some of these advertisements that I answered, right? I answered even of one man who claimed he was a minister, okay? And I was like, okay, you know, so I'm just going to ride with him and see what he says. And he gave all of us a little interview to see how much money we had. And I was like, okay, we already have a problem because you're offering this great way of making money, basically knocking on the doors of folks, online and offline businesses, asking them, do they need this service that he was offering? But he was interviewing us up front to find out how much money we had, because we would have to spend so much money in order to get his people to advertise, to build the business, to do this, to do that. Okay. But then you're giving him a cut of your proceeds. I mean, well, I could just start my own business for all of that. I mean, why do I need to pay you and your team? Oh, because we know how to do this. We know how to do that. We can take care of this. We can take care of that. Yeah, your business will be on autopilot. But then I started looking at reviews, and I found out that autopilot, basically, where's the cut? Where's the cut that's supposed to retire me? Where's the cut that's supposed to cause me to quit my day job? Oh, that's going toward his team who helped you out. And you are the gift that keeps on giving. Because now you got expenses that you didn't have before you got mixed up. You see? No. That's why you have to ask all these questions before you fork over anything. You see? Before you attach your credit card to the free trial. Oh, don't you love these free trials that are out here? Make sure that you are putting in your calendar, in your reminders, even notifying Alexa or Google that you are to cancel that trial once it's done. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it is the gift that keeps giving and it's been beneficial in the past and whatever else. If you don't need it every single month, all year, set your notifications to cancel it 48 hours in advance. Because the closer to the end time is when the funny business starts to happen for some of these companies. Just a heads up for someone who, oh, I got a free trial. Matter of fact, I'm reminding some people, go check and see what you signed up with recently. That it was just supposed to be when the kids were over, and it was just supposed to be for that assignment that you had, or it was just supposed to be for work, okay, or for your client, cancel that. It's not of benefit if I'm not using it at least daily, weekly, or monthly, depending on what it is. Okay. All right. We're going down the list. So there are some other things that people claim that, oh, yes, we've made money. We've done this. We've done that. Okay. We already know that the lies abound on YouTube. That's why what you want to do is make sure that you're going into the community forums away from YouTube and looking to see what has the experience been like. Okay. Some individuals, they will give you a whole lot of free on their YouTube, and it's amazing how much they'll give you. And that is because they're getting their money already from the sponsorship. So that tool or the product or the service that they're offering you to purchase, or if you sign up through my referral link, there lies the money. So that is how the money is coming through. So they can tell you a whole lot and give you a whole lot of value because somebody is already padding the pockets, right? If I have a day job and I'm already happy with that day job and I'm getting so much money from that day job, it's not costing me anything to sit here and tell you something, right? Because I'm already being paid somewhere. I'm getting some type of money. But if I start to find that I'm spending 8 to 10 hours on YouTube, or I'm spending more time than I want to spend, then I've got to get some money from somewhere, because some people on the home front is not going to like the fact that you reduced your hours at the day job to dedicate to YouTube. And we got bills around here that need to get paid. So you better figure that thing out, and quickly. And so this is why for some of us over the years, we went online looking for all of these opportunities. Let's talk about surveys. So there was a young man, still a minor, so might as well call him a boy, who decided that he was going to test all these things out so that we who came across his TikTok, that we wouldn't have to try these things out. And so I followed him for almost a year, and he tried all sorts of stuff. And you could ask him, well, try this out and try that out. So he tried out the surveys, and he took 8 hours of his day in the summertime, okay, living with mommy and daddy, didn't have a regular job, wanted to see if he could be able to make it by just doing surveys all day. Okay, so he went on, he signed up for about 3 or 5 companies, and he took 8 hours of his day to work the surveys. Okay, he ended up with $20.75 after an 8-hour workday. He said, just so you know, everyone, that it is better to go ahead and get a job. Okay, just a job over at the fast food restaurant, wherever. But this sucks. Right? I had done that a long time ago, back when I had some time on my hands, and I just sat there and I said, I'm just going to sign up for about 7. I think it was about 7 survey companies. I'm going to toggle between each one of them. I'm going to see what I'm going to make. Mind you, and I rinsed and repeated. I didn't just do one day. I made sure that I spent some serious time, about 90 some odd days of just surveys every day, logging in, seeing what's there. Okay. So when I saw $30, I was like, wow, how long did it take me to get to my $30? That took me a couple weeks. Okay. Then I was like, wow, I got up to $100. How long did it take me to get up to $100 and some change? It took me 2 months. Okay. It's safe to say no. Yeah, it was nice to have that little expected, the unexpected money. Now, as far as referrals and so forth goes, it took literally a year for my referrals to move up through the algorithm, for somebody to finally click on them. But then even then, okay, I met my threshold, got my payout, which my threshold was like $20. And then it took another year or so before I was able to get to another 20 bucks. I mean, do you want real, or do you want somebody to tell you that you can make 200 and some dollars a day working surveys? Because that has not been my experience. And here's the other thing. When I did come across some folks who had their so-called black hat methods, numerous computers going on, they had their various bots, then what I also found out was that they were basically straight up lying on all the surveys, saying that they had kids when they did not have kids. Okay. I'll tell you that I had my best results being that I had just had a newborn. I had a one in diapers, and then I also had my son that was in elementary school, and my other son that was on his way to middle school. So that's a nice little mix in the household. Plus, I was the one who was shopping for groceries as well, at times, right? Putting together the list and telling the husband, okay, this is what we need, blah, 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 and then sometimes we would go to the store together. Sometimes we didn't. Okay. So I was more eligible for surveys back in those days than I am now. Okay. So it just depends. If you're traveling, right? You sign up as a traveler. You're always on company business and you're traveling here, there, and everywhere. And they need someone who does that sort of thing. Then you're going to be more likely to get those surveys because that's what the flavor of the week is. But then eventually the flavor of the week is no longer the flavor of the week. And now you're barely getting any surveys. Okay. That's how it works. Okay, so that is something that's from personal experience, I can tell you. Nah, it wasn't worth it. There was a woman who decided that she wanted a permanent job. And so she went on and she got a permanent job as a leasing consultant at an apartment complex. Me, I went in the other direction and I got a temp job through a company that offers temp jobs in property management. Okay. Now, no scams, none whatsoever. However, she made the comment one day that, not knowing about temp assignments, she made the comment one day that, that's nothing but a scam. I am helping her, okay, at the facility. And she said that that's nothing but a scam because, well, they're charging the company twice as much and they're only giving the contractor X amount of dollars. However, the X amount of dollars per hour was more than what most of the companies that were looking for permanent employees were offering. Yes, it's temporary, but hey, you go through enough companies and you stay employed. Now, did they give me bonus money? No, because you're a contractor. So, if you're looking for long term, if you're looking for bonus money on top of your hourly, then that's something that you do. I mean, sales in general, that's what you do, right? You want the hourly, you want the bonus money, you want the bells and whistles, and you want to stay in one spot, right? Okay. However, this is where I said that this is beneficial to those individuals who, one, no, I'm not going to be here for always in this little town, in this little community, heck, not even in this state. The temp job is going to be my best option. No, I'm not going to be able to get all the fancy little bonuses, but I'm actually helping you out. So you're actually going to get double the bonuses with me being here. Okay. So sure, the company is actually paying more. And we're getting a cut of that. But if my hourly is more than most of the jobs that are out here, I'm okay with it because once again, I'm only here temporarily. So sometimes this is a good example of, well, not everything is a scam. Okay. Sure, it may seem, a little bit on the shady side or whatever people want to say about temp companies. But one thing about it, they were there when companies did not want to hire me because they saw that I was already branded, that I'm already doing things out here with my name. And not only that, do we really want to keep the Christian around all like that? Do we really want to keep the Black Christian around all long, all like that? Do we really want to keep the Black Christian female around these parts for long? So we can deal with her temporarily for about 6 months or a year or what have you. Okay. Look, we still have a lot of people who do not like people for a lot of reasons. And, it is what it is. But for somebody who you need the bills paid like yesterday, I do recommend a temp job. I do not recommend signing up for some scam where you're going to end up putting yourself in more debt. And then in about a month or 2 months, somebody's going to be saying, okay, we need you to start making payments. And then you're going to come up short. And then there's not enough time to be ripping and running everywhere trying to get a permanent job. I think that temp assignment is going to be just nice for you. Okay. So we've got a lot of shady things that are out here. One of my sons, which I have yet to upload this over there on resourcerundown.com, but one of my sons unfortunately was scammed. He did not run some things by me first, and I would have done the research. He was just so excited and captivated about a cryptocurrency investment. And so at some point that will be going up because I want some individuals to be wise, be discerning. There are some individuals who have asked the question this year, and I'm sure these scams will continue into the following year. At the time of this recording, what should we be aware of, right? First of all, famous people are not going to DM you, okay? Unless you are connected, unless you know someone who knows someone within their group and you have worked with them on projects, okay? Your famous YouTubers that have a whole lot of subscribers and they are very busy now, they have people who will help with their accounts. However, to get into a back and forth, that's rare. It's extremely rare. And if they have already told you that, no, I would not DM you, I would not put a phone number up using a WhatsApp, a Telegram, or what have you, believe it, okay? Believe it. So there is a lot of that has gone around, and so that's why they will make the statement, simply put, I'm not going to use a WhatsApp or Telegram to reach out to you. Not going to do it, okay? And that goes for me too. Not going to do it. There were some individuals who were saying some things like, when you go to the church and the collection plate is going around, would that be something of a scam? Now, I will tell you that it depends on the church, to be quite honest, because we do know that those who have worked in the back rooms, who have worked closely with ministers and so forth, that monies do go toward various work that the church has signed itself, herself, hisself up for. But partial proceeds are going to go toward bills because the lights have to be paid. The water that is running in that building has to be paid. So the individual who is mad already that he or she has been told to go to church, and then not only that, when you get there, there's a collection plate that goes around and you know that you don't have much money. Of course, to you, it's going to feel like a scam. But there is a business that is involved behind the scenes. At the end of the day, just like your favorite fast food restaurant has to pay the water bill, the light bill, right? Has to pay the groundskeeper, has to pay the employee, so too does the church. And where are they going to get that money? Well, the government's only going to give them but so much money. But anything extra that somebody with a bright idea in the congregation says the church needs, understand that there's going to be a bill at some point. And that collection plate is going to be passed around wanting you to contribute. Oh, that's such a great idea. Be careful what you say is a great idea, because sister so-and-so, you need to put something in the plate. You know, we need some more. Did you ever consider, Nicole, that on your channel you need? Okay, fine. And then at some point I'm going to say, could you be able to make a contribution? Can you be able to help out with? You see, things cost money. So for someone to turn up their nose and have an attitude about it and then go and call that church a scam because they got 30 some different plates going around. Well, you got to look at all those 30 some different programs that they're offering in the community. That's why I've told people a long time ago, you need to cut down those programs. And then this way you can cut down passing the collection plate around. Because these people, they already have an attitude showing up in the church. And now they got an attitude about putting money. So if you cut some of this stuff down, you won't have to pass that plate around so much. All right. So told you I'm covering a lot of things today. There are those individuals who they have their share of recordings that they put on, right? They're playing various music out in the parking lot. Some individuals, if the music goes off and you still hear that violin playing, he's legit. Okay. Some people have instruments that they play along with the music, right? In the parking lot and elsewhere. Okay. And the thing is that you got to get close enough to pay attention. If you know a thing or two about instruments, you know how an instrument is played and you know when a person is faking it versus a person who's real. So it's just about observation. Before I put my money in a bucket, I'm going to pay attention to make sure that the person is really playing. Okay. And so I have come across my share who they were really playing. And then I've come across individuals who no, they were not really playing. And then there were those who were playing along with the music. Okay. And that was pretty good. And I liked it and I enjoyed myself. So once again, it's about being discerning. We're not going to paint everybody as being a scammer. Okay. All right. The individuals who will ask you to send some money and then they're going to go ahead and proceed to give you something, whether it is a book, whether it is access to their website, whether it is something where you become a member of. All right. If the information that they're supplying is worth or exceeds what you paid for, then is it really a scam? You see. But if I go and I sign up for something, or I'm expecting a book that's going to give me a whole lot of detail about something, and I only get maybe a list that I could just find through a chat GPT service, then yeah, I'm going to say that, nah, that's a scam, right? You got to give me some value. You got to give me something that is not going to be easy for me to find, which means that requires hours and hours of research. That requires you interviewing some professionals. That requires you going from website to website to get the latest and the greatest of information. That requires you to even invest some of your own money in order to make that product, that service, that book, really something that I enjoy, right? And some of us, we had to put our share of monies out there in order to make something happen, okay? And to bring the value. And when I see somebody who I know all you did was just do a copy and paste, and then I ran it through the tester to see, if the AI really wrote it or not. Okay. You see. So there are some things across the web, like our simple little captions or a paragraph or whatever. Sure, go ahead, let the chat GPT or whatever else. But when you're talking about you're building up a business and everything that's coming out of that business is going to be AI written. And then meanwhile, we've come across some things where AI was not right and nobody is on staff that you pay them for to double check and recheck some information. We have a problem, Houston. Okay, we have a problem. All right. So some individuals have gone so far as to say, yeah, people simply just make money off of your curiosity. You were curious. You paid the $1 to $5 to 20 to 50 to $100+ and you were curious. And so you got what you got. Whether you consider it a value or not, you got what you got. Okay. If it feels like a scam, well, you see. So now, there are those individuals that ended up having all sorts of memberships, okay? And I have personally come across these memberships over the years. I did not pay for everything. Matter of fact, I waited for somebody else to pay for it, and then I took a look, you see. Because some individuals will say, well, after they bought something and they don't feel good about it, well, can you look at it? Okay, all right, we'll take a look at it, and we see that it's shady, okay? Some individuals, depending on what the platform is, they know to charge $97 over here based on the target audience. They know over here we're going to charge almost $2,000 because this type of group, they're good for it. And then over here, so this is why when they post up their PayPal accounts or any other accounts, you'll see the fluctuation in monies because they've got various platforms with various memberships and they're charging different types of pricing, and they also are working under various business names. And so the monthly membership is the gift that keeps giving. So it's time for you to pay, for the new year. And so out comes an increase. Okay, or maybe a decrease. It just all depends on what they're selling you. Okay, a lot of the groups that are out there that have tools, all sorts of tools, and you pay into their platform to use their tools. Okay, yeah, there is a membership fee involved. Come to think of it, there was one particular one that a year ago, they had all sorts of tools under one umbrella. I liked the convenience of it. I did not mind paying for it, but I only wanted to use it for a limited amount of time. And so that's what I did. I reached out to them and I canceled it after I used what I needed to use. Then, lo and behold, I turned around and they had sent me something talking about almost a year late. No, it was a year later. Talking about, yeah, so your credit card was declined. Oh, well, of course it is, because back then I canceled it. So why are you still holding on to my credit card? You see. So there are some things that you can cancel within the platform, but the membership itself needs to be canceled as well. Or you canceled the membership, but you're still connected to certain tools within. So you've got to take a look to see exactly what you canceled. Did you cancel every single itty bitty thing? Did you delete your credit card out of it? If it's hard to get your credit card out of that thing, then you need to be on the phone talking to someone. And not only that, you need to be talking to your bank too, so that they don't go back in a year later. Okay. This is why I told one particular relative, I said, use a card that is not tied to your bills, right? A card that is not the card that has unlimited monies flowing, but a card that has a cap on it. Okay. So that way, when they go back to try to get some money, no, it's going to be declined. Okay. So there is something else too, is that and I came across this working for a company where people were having their websites built by website developers that they chose, not the company. But once they ran into a problem, then they reached out to us and wanted us to help them build up a website because they couldn't find their website developer. Now, the reason for this sort of thing is simple. The website developer owns all of the elements and all of the tools, unless you have an arrangement with them where I want all of the code. I want everything that you use to build that, or I want access to the service provider that you use to build that. So give me the username, the password. If you don't have that understanding up front, the cup is going to run away with the spoon. And when something breaks on your website, they are nowhere to be found. Okay. So this is something that, unfortunately, yeah, it is a scam. Because if I don't get everything up front, I don't have access to any of my tools. And they play on your ignorance. They figure that, well, you don't know. So that's just how it goes. Now, there are some other things that go on, and that is those emails that say that there is a fraudulent transaction on your Amazon or your PayPal or wherever that might be. And the truth of the matter is that no, if this is what you need to do. You have to go to the website. Always go to the website. If there's a problem with your account, you go to the website that the email is claiming that there's something fraudulent going on. So I'm going to Amazon. I'm going to PayPal. I'm not trusting an email that was sent. Okay. I'm not doing that. Another thing too is the packages that they say that these scammers say that you have, whether it's a package that you haven't ordered anything in I don't know how long, and your package is on the way and they send you a text, or a package notification of some sort via your email or whatever else. Okay. And meanwhile, no, this doesn't make any sense. Right. Or maybe it is something, a company that you worked with in the past, but, or you got a package from in the past, but wait a minute, something is fishy here. I don't know why they're asking me for this. I have to pay for this or pay for that. What? Post offices are not going to ask you for any money. Okay. They're not going to do that. Always contact the delivery company, any of them, the post office, FedEx, Amazon, all of it. Did you notify me of? Okay. Another thing too is that those companies that reach out to you and say that you have a job, or you're eligible, or we saw your resume and we really liked it and all of that. We're going back to the job board, or we are going to run some research on that email address. We're going to run some research on the name of that company. Okay, the person's name. Of course, they may even have a LinkedIn that's set up with the company and the person's name, but it's kind of fishy. This looks like a new one. Okay. Of course, we've got our share of lottery and sweepstakes scams, the investment ones, the phishing, some of the programs that are out there for life coaches and stuff like that. We are doing thorough research on these sorts of things, and you'll find that there are those that never did receive, like for instance, their cert for a coach program of some sort. Okay. Or their cert for a tech program that they were a part of. Okay. Individuals that want information up front, your ID, your driver's license. What do you need all of that for? Right. I don't even know if I have a job. Oh, you got the job. I just need you to send these things over. Okay. Now, who are you exactly? And is this typically the process? Well, you got to do research to find out, is that typically the process? Okay. There's going to be the information that these companies are going to need. A legitimate company is going to need. Their human resources department is going to reach out to you, and there's paperwork that you need to sign and all of that. But how much do you have on that company, right? And once again, do we know the process? Have we looked at Trustpilot? Have we looked at Indeed reviews? Have we looked at Glassdoor? Have we looked at Nextdoor? Have we looked at Reddit? Have we looked at, have we put information up in our Facebook circle to see if other people have had similar issues? A tech support scam, a pop-up that shows up. Wait a minute. Where did this come from, right? Are we running our virus protection software annually? Do you even have your virus protection software that goes beyond just what one service that's on your computer? There are other services that are out there. There are those individuals, companies that will so-called help you with your so-called taxes, right? And meanwhile, you're like, I don't need any help with my taxes. I already have a financial planner, right? And then there's the tax preparer fees that are involved that you find out later on. What? He can save me how much money? Oh my gosh, honey, this is so great, right? And then you find out what a fee is. Okay. And that fee is something that you cannot handle. You're not sending over your W-2s. You're not sending over a 1099. You're not sending over any of these things to these people that you have no clue who they are. Okay. I would say that you need to sit down in front of someone if you're concerned about taxes and whether you did something right or not. You need to go to your local business there. And then even then, you have to pay attention closely to who, what, when, where, and jot down some names and check out some managers, all of it. Okay. Your MLMs, that's your multi-level marketing. That's been around forever. They are the ones that have long acted like cults while they talked about churches. But, you know, they're having you come to all sorts of conferences, seminars, you name it. And the money is in recruiting people. That's where the money lies. I know because back in the day, I was a part of various MLMs back in the 90s. The money is in recruiting people, not so much in selling those products. Okay. I mean, you get money from the products. Don't get me wrong. But the real money is when you get someone who rinses and repeats. So they recruit and they've got a downline, and that downline has quite a few people who are buying products. And so you're getting money off of the people that they have brought in addition to the various product sales and all of that. Yes, there's money to be made. But at the same time, though, what are you willing to do? You see, the scam comes in when they say that they're a job, that they are an employer, and they're looking for applicants. They're looking for people like HR is looking for employees. And then you show up and instead you're in a room full of people and they are showing you a video, a great slideshow presentation. Okay. And yes, a long time ago, I did go to one of those thinking that it was a job, and it wasn't. Okay. And in the end, they got just what they wanted. Well, we can't get you as one who is working, quote unquote, working for us, but we do have a great product. Yeah, that you do. And so they were able to at least get money that way. Okay. So there are those individuals who talked about even so far as our two-party system and all of what is associated with that, right? There's money to be made. There is an employee who gets paid to recruit, to sign up, to help out, all under the name of whatever political party, right? Now, once that candidate is in office and everything that you stand by, if you feel like that candidate has not met your needs, then yes, you feel like you've been scammed. Absolutely. Or the congressman or the senator. So at some point, you've got to figure out what you're going to do going forward. God is my king. Hallelujah. God is my king. Okay. So the NFTs, the cryptocurrencies, anything that you at one point thought, wow, there is money to be made, but now, wait a minute, I'm seeing that with this person, but I'm not getting that money. Okay. See, this is where the investigation has to take place. This is where you got to figure out, is this really what all these people have claimed it to be? Why is it that certain people are making a whole lot of money while others are not? Okay. There is a system. There's a system that's attached to it. The cryptocurrency or the NFT in and of itself, we know, we see evidence and proof that people do make money with it. But there's a system that one will attach to that. And they're making money off of whatever that system is. Okay. All right. So you want to make sure that whatever you're purchasing is offered by legitimate companies. You need to vet them. Someone had suggested Yuga Labs, Reddit, just the company itself, talking with some individuals, finding out things related to whatever that cryptocurrency or NFT is. Okay. Talk with the one who they said they made the money. Okay, you made the money. You want to see evidence and proof of that, but then you want to go a step further. You want to take a look at the Better Business Bureau. You want to, and what people have posted there. Okay, you want to go to a ripoff report and see what people have posted. All right. There are those AI generated voice calls that sound like your relatives. And once again, you know how your relative sounds. You know what your relative would typically converse with you about. Hang up. They are phishing and they want information. Like, what's your password to such and such? Oh, that's on so and so. She just asked me for it. Why are you giving a password to anybody over the phone? You don't know if that's really Aunt so and so. Okay. Okay. There are those jobs that they will say to you that this is how much we're going to pay you. And then in 6 months, we're going to give you XYZ. 6 months comes along and you don't get XYZ. You just got scammed. Get away from that job. They don't even need a 2-week notice. Leave. And this is why you should get these things in writing. Don't agree to a job without these things in writing. Okay? When it comes to looking over any type of paperwork to see, is this really a scam or not? You want to look at anything that has poor spelling, like, any fake looking pages, things that look like a legitimate site. Okay. You want to also check to see if there is, something that says that this is a trusted site, a safe site, a secure site in the URL. Sometimes there are those that have yet to be updated, right? Their certificate is outdated or something along those lines. Sometimes there's errors on websites. We get all of that. We're not going to say that that they are a scam site because they don't have certain securities in place yet. However, you can always do research, right? To find out who's who, what's what. One particular individual had told me, he said that he never uses his real name on the internet. And I was like, wow. He says, you use yours? And I was like, well, yeah, And he said that he decided that he did not want to use his real name because of all of the foolishness that was out there. Okay. But at some point, though, depending on what you are doing on the internet, it will be in your best interest if you are trying to go for a particular job, right? We've never heard, or we haven't seen, or we don't know of, okay? Because people who have worked with you, if you're out there under some other name, you might want to let them know that if that's the name that you choose to use, okay? People who claim that you've won something, right? The companies that'll reach out to you. There was one that said that I won something. I was so excited, and before I knew it, I was in a black hole of madness. It was like, okay, you got to perform this offer, and you've got to complete this offer, and you've got to take care of this, and you've got to do that. And before long, they end up getting all your money. Okay. So you don't want to be a part of this so-called you won something. Okay. Always look at the really, really fine print down below in the email. Okay. Check scam. One particular relative ended up getting a check in the mail, was so excited about this check. It looked like it came from a property management company. And I said, well, didn't you already get your security deposit? Yeah, but I think maybe this is some other money that they owe me. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. So I did. I said, give me a chance. I said, I'm going to check on it. The person had already deposited their check. Well, turns out that they no longer have their bank account any longer. They can no longer do banking with that bank at all. Okay. The check was a scam. All right. So even if it does clear, it does take a while to investigate. But once that check is investigated, you are responsible for giving that bank their money back. Okay. In addition to overdraft fees as well. All right. So yeah, a lot to pay attention to. Why is this message so important? Why are we not pulling out a bunch of scriptures and just going all in today spiritually? Because the holiday season is coming up. And the holiday season, a lot of people, they let their guard down. A lot of people will just yell and shout and say, God, he just made a way out of no way. And it turns out it was nothing but a scam. Okay. The unexpected check, oh my gosh, I won the lottery, the sweepstakes. And really, if it's too good to be true, as we've always said, right? Then yes, it is. It is too good to be true. I will tell you that the blessings, the miracles, the signs, the wonders, some of you all already experienced it. You knew what the legitimate looked like because there was no strings attached. There was nobody asking you for anything. And then if they did ask you for something, it was what they asked everybody else for. And there were positive reviews about it. Everybody had nothing but good things to say, right? The timing was just on point, right? It came in the form of a loan and you paid that loan back, or you're continuing to pay that loan. So you considered it a blessing for that time period. It wasn't a scam. The money actually showed up in your account. You actually got your bills paid. The APR on it wasn't bad at all. Okay. So consider that a blessing then. But then there's the person who they ended up just getting money. It showed up in their CashApp. It showed up in their PayPal. And then days, weeks, months later go by, still no issues whatsoever. And now it's years and still no issues, because that is nothing but God. The person who gets the letter in the mail and says that under the Biden and Harris administration, you don't have to pay for your student loans any longer, right? It's a legitimate letter. It came from the government. You can start dancing and shouting. You called the company. You verified with with FAFSA, right? Okay. A situation where a relative tells you that you are a beneficiary. You've also got a letter in the mail from the financial planner. You called the office. The check is in the mail. It's a certified. It is legitimate. You checked everything that needed to be checked. Shout on that. Hallelujah. You see? But something that shows up and nobody wants to wait around for verification, doesn't want to wait around for the investigation, doesn't want to wait around for the research, doesn't want to wait around for anything. And all you do is say, praise the Lord. And then right around the corner, here comes the negativity. Here comes all of the evil associated with it. Somebody closes up their mouth. Wasn't God. Wasn't God. Never was. You see. And so today what we did was we exposed all of the foolishness that right around the corner somebody's going to say, look at God. And no, it wasn't God. It was nothing but the devil. Okay. It was nothing but the devil. Be on high alert. Be on high alert for your family members and friends who call you up. Always say, let me take a look. Let me do some research. Do not do anything with it until you hear from me. Have them take pictures of it front, back, zoom in on some things. Know the difference between a legitimate check versus a fake check. Go over to the bank, show the bank. The teller can be able to look at it right away. Go over there to the cash advance place. They could tell. All right. But no, don't fall for it. Emails, always check with the company that you work for. What's the latest scams? So that you don't end up clicking on something that you have no business clicking on. Okay. At one company, there was a lot of foolishness like that was going on. And the tech team was always sending out letters telling people, stop clicking on these emails. Okay. Once again, high alert. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. You've been listening to YouTube and I'm Enterprise 7. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment. We do welcome giving on this channel, and thanks in advance.